Good morning. I would like to thank you all for being here today. Western Union Company, a leader in cross-border currency money movement, today announced the launch of Western Union Money Transfer Services in Bermuda in alliance with the agent Blue Nile Services Limited. Customers in Bermuda can now send money within minutes to more than 200 countries and territories or directly into a bank account in nearly 60 countries. Western Union is now located on 1 Burnaby Street at the corner of Burnaby and Church Street. Operating hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Celebrating here with us today, we have Premier the Honorable David Burch, JP MP, Shadow Minister of Finance, Nicholas Kemp, Mayor of the City of Hamilton, Charles Gosling, JP, COO, and Secretary of the City of Hamilton, Dwayne Keynes, Western Union Head of Caribbean Business, Andre Larg. At this time, I invite Jerome Dill, Chairman of the Blue Nile Services Limited, to the mic.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Premier, distinguished guests all. I could go around the room and actually name individuals, but if I do that, I'm going to be all day. This is a fantastic turnout, and we are particularly grateful for the Premier to take time out of his very busy day to be here with us as we celebrate the opening of Blue Nile, a Western Union affiliated company. So before I introduce our CEO, Sosana, let me just sort of say that as we have been moving around the community over the course of the last few weeks, and people have actually gotten wind of the fact that we're going to be opening a Western Union / Blue Nile office, the question is, well, where have you guys been? Where have you been? Where have you been? And we have been very, very cautious not to say anything at all. But I'm very, very happy to say that today we can now say, here we are, and we are now going to be officially opened by the Premier. Before the Premier does that, however, I'd like to introduce you to somebody who is going to be the backbone of the operation here in Bermuda. This is going to be our flagship location, but I don't think that I'm telling any secrets when I say that this is going to be the first of a number of locations for us. They were all going to be led by our CEO, and our CEO is none other than Sosana Mekkonen. I give you Sosana Mekkonen.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, Premier, distinguished guests. Being here today is very humbling for me, and I would like to thank all of the distinguished guests, my family, including those who have traveled hundreds of miles to be here, my business colleagues, staff, and all of my friends for taking the time to show up your support for the project, which has the potential to positively impact Bermuda in so many levels. We are delighted to open our doors for business today as Western Union authorized agents. To put it mildly, the BMA runs a very rigorous process, and as a result, we had to produce far more documentation than expected. It was tough and at times extremely stressful. However, thanks to countless blessings, hard work, commitment from many of you who are here today, we were able to meet BMS requirement and obtain a money service business license. Our staff had to go through compliance training for anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing to help them understand their job and the decision they make with each transaction, and will continue to support their development with the assistance of our compliance officer as the world and global financing continues to evolve. We would like to thank Western Union. Where's Andre? Yes, Western Union team to working with us diligently and being very supportive through the process of acquiring our license. This process has been very important to all of us in Bermuda, and through their actions, they made it very clear to us that it's just as important to them. Thank you everyone for coming.
We now invite Andre Larg, Western Union Head of Caribbean Business.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols being observed, honored guests, friends and family, welcome. I can't tell you how proud we are of this moment. After an enduring period of hard work by the Blue Nile team, we have been proudly serving the Bermudian community for over the last 2 weeks. And today, we open up our doors to formally kick off the start of what is going to be a new era of money services here in Bermuda. You know, Western Union has a 168-year history, 168-year history of innovation, building trust and relationships with our consumers around the world. But I won't take up my precious time here today to speak about our history, but more so the future. The future of what we have in store, working very closely with Jerome and Sasna to bring new services here to our customers, expanding locations, venturing into the digital realm so that not only can customers choose to remit money in cash, but they can also make choices as to whether or not they want those funds to start from an account, whether they want to start on their mobile phone, or ultimately where they want to pay out in cash or to an account globally. We are committed to bringing the very best of Western Union's capabilities to our customers here in Bermuda. We are extremely grateful for Sasna, for Jerome, and their team who have worked very diligently over more than a year. And also I want to take a moment to thank some of the Western Union team who have also been on the journey. One notable member of the team who is not here today is Mr. Michael Lee. I want to reference him by name and extend heartfelt thanks to him. He is, I would say, part Bermuda, Mr. Premier. I think he'll be applying for his residency sometime soon. But such is the commitment of our team to not just restore services, but to exceed the expectations of our customers. So with that, let me close by saying thank you. And we certainly look forward to being ever present here in the community, serving the community, and to expanding our services here in Bermuda for generations to come. Thank you.
We now invite the Premier, the Honorable David Burch.
Good morning, everyone. It is great to be here today for the grand opening of Blue Nile Services Limited, Bermuda's newest money service provider licensed by the Bermuda Monetary Authority. It is encouraging to see a new business venture that offers various money service options to the public, especially the return of Western Union, a worldwide financial services and communications company which allows users to send and receive money in a matter of minutes anywhere in the world. After an absence of almost 2 years in Bermuda, I am sure that there are many people who welcome their return. Congratulations on being chosen as the authorized local agent for Western Union Bermuda and to be able to once again provide their services locally. It is also very encouraging to see that with the opening of Blue Nile Services, you have employed 7 full-time staff members, 6 of which are Bermudian and 1 being a spouse of a Bermudian. Additionally, your staff, through both Compliance Office and Western Union, have been thoroughly trained, as mentioned, in anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing training, equipped to serve customers to the highest standard. You are to be commended for not only employing locals, but also ensuring that our standards in this area are met. The government welcomes new business starting up in Bermuda. You are part of our vision for economic growth and diversification and economic empowerment for a new generation of entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur at heart, I understand how difficult it can be, although I've never had to go through the licensing process at the BMA. They're there for a reason. I understand how difficult it can be and the challenges and work involved with starting up a business. So congratulations to Sasana, to Mr. Dill, the chairman, and also to Director Melody Bean for the work of which you've done to get to this particular point. Please know that this government supports local entrepreneurship, and we are going to continue supporting local entrepreneurs. That is the reason why we pledged in our election manifesto to eliminate taxes for new startups, and we have delivered on that promise. We will continue to support businesses, startup businesses, through the increased funding to the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation so that we can see more and more entrepreneurial enterprises in Bermuda. So with that, I wish you all the very best for a bright future and much success. And thank you for having me here today.
Craig, I would just like to ask for any questions. Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more about direct-to-bank services?
So the question was about direct-to-bank services with Western Union. Andre? Sure. Andre, we'll invite Andre.
So our direct-to-bank service is enabled in over 50 countries around the world. Customers around the world, and certainly here in Bermuda, can send money to over billions of accounts. We have services enabled in the Philippines, in the USA. We have services enabled for Jamaica and a host of other countries. It works essentially like a wire transfer. In addition to the recipient information, you provide the bank account number and the routing number, and the transaction is typically available within 24 hours. Not to bemoan my friends at the banks, but our service is faster. The fees are far more transparent. It's only $10 flat fee up to the limit of $5,000 that are once the transaction originates here in Bermuda.
Thank you. Get this, one more question? Okay.
Will Blue now be providing other financial services like small-term credits or anything like that?
No, not at this time. No. Okay. We will at this time we'll close this press conference, and we're just going to step outside for a few photos and the official ribbon cutting. Thank you all so much for being here.